Nobody can understand, nobody cares.
You f***ing roll up on your dad, your mom, your sister and say, "F*** you, I'm out."
About all the trials and tribulations of your f***ing weak, cut lives.
You need to define your tribe, you draw a perimeter around it.
And most of your friends aren't gonna understand.
You have an us versus them strategy.
And it's lonely.
These are red flags that you should cut these people off immediately.
In an online social climate of hustle culture and perfection, what does rebellion look like? This article by The Guardian has been making its rounds on the internet recently, and your first thought is like, okay, this has to be a fucking joke, right? This is just some dumb TikTok meme. And you know, The Guardian's just trying to stay relevant, trying to keep up with the ridiculous speed that memes kind of form and dissipate by latching on to anything that comes their way. What the fuck even is slobbing out and going Goblin mode? According to this article, it's completely giving up on anything, not trying at life at all, spending your days eating and snacking and doom scrolling and never getting out of bed. Yeah, you know, it really is just some dumb TikTok thing on par with cottagecore and that girl and all the other dumb shit we've seen in the last 2 years. The thing is, the TikTok algorithm is like almost a perfect representation of a collective unconscious. Although this is just some dumb meme, there's something worth looking into here. It's 2022, and there's this very intense push for everyone to be perfect. And I mean actually, like, gone are the days when your 20s were about self-exploration and finding yourself and living life and having experiences. Now it seems like if you're not a millionaire influencer with fucking rental properties by the time you're 28, then you're a failure. Modesty and stability don't cut it anymore. I have this critique from an inside perspective, you know? Much like you, I'm single, apartment, paycheck to paycheck, trying to balance a full-time job, side hustle, hobbies, gym, romance, hedonism, bit of peace and quiet. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm in solidarity with you. I've painted a very grim picture of our generational condition here. These are all just choices, right? We wake up every day and choose to hate ourselves. That's a very broad statement, but you know what I mean. I'm reading Homo Deus right now by Yuval Noah Harari. It's a really good book, and in the book he says that throughout all of history up until modernity, life was about sacrificing power for meaning. You were powerless against God, you were powerless against nature, you were powerless against the king, against anything you worship. But because of that, you had meaning, you had structure. The things you did were in the glory of God. The things you did were in the glory of an ideology. Modernity flips that. Modernity is about giving up meaning for power. We no longer have meaning in our lives. We're not doing anything for the glory of God or for an ideology or anything. We do things for power. We put ourselves in misery for the idea of something more, for this idea of growth. This isn't the way things always work. We choose to hate ourselves, we choose to give up meaning for power. The idea this article proposes, and the idea the whole concept of Goblin mode proposes, is why not just give up? Give up the search, as the Buddhists say, and take living in the moment into a whole new perverse direction. Imagine how good it could be. Never get out of bed, and all it is fucking Uber Eats, masturbating, TikTok, YouTube. All you need is some fucking measly income to support your bachelor apartment, and you're good to go until your heart explodes. And I mean, seriously, this isn't for the first time in history we have the opportunity to do this. You couldn't stimulate yourself to death 200 years ago. Okay, imagine some dude in like 16th century France just like zipping up his pants in disappointment because he got bored of masturbating all day. Not fucking anymore. Okay, so yeah, you can hijack your brain. We're social creatures, right? Like, what if it gets lonely? One, we have Tinder. I promise you, the amount of people on Tinder that just want to be fed and entertained, you'll have no trouble finding fucking matches. Two, all the self-help and business advice that's shoved down our throats now tells us to be lonely anyway.
Your family might not understand.
How many videos can you find of some dude telling you to fucking forego all romantic relationships and that people just get in the way and that what you really need to focus on is yourself and the grind? Now we have two options. Loneliness in your hedonism or loneliness in your suffering. I don't know, which one sounds better? Wait. I'm taking this like way too fucking seriously. This is just some dumb TikTok meme. A bunch of 17-year-olds hit rock bottom for a few weeks and made a thing out of it. Like, there's nothing of substance here, right? The issue is that this whole conversation crosses a much bleaker horizon. Follow this train of thought for a second. We're talking about hijacking our brains, foregoing anything we know to be meaningful in life just for like pure stimulation, right? Take that concept to its farthest possible point. You could plug your brain into some sort of pleasure machine. And I'm not talking like Matrix. I'm talking like literally your brain is plugged into something that just makes you feel fulfilled forever. Our brains have the neurotransmitters. You know what pure pleasure feels like if you've done drugs or like beat off or had sex. You've been in that state before. Your brain can do that on its own. You don't give your brain more neurotransmitters. You don't give your brain more dopamine and more serotonin. It's all in there. It's all fucking in there already. So it can be triggered constantly. And then that begs the question, why bother with any search for meaning at all? Building a business, having kids, saving money, getting a house, finding meaning in life, helping others. All these things we're told our whole lives that matter. Do they fucking matter? Your brain can just be tweaked into the most pleasurable state possible. Forgo everything else. And we've done this experiment already with rats. Rats were given the choice between a button that stimulates pleasure in their brain and things like food, water, and sex. Which one do you think the rats chose? The rats were pressing the button so much that they were becoming malnourished because they weren't eating, and the researchers had to move them away from the button so that they didn't starve to death. That could be us. We're just a primate species, man. We're not fucking special. All the philosophers, Nietzsche, Sartre, Camus, they could have never seen this coming. Thousands of years of philosophical thought about what constitutes a good life, completely thrown out the fucking window. Why would you ever stop pressing the button? Oh, Moses, I know myself, I would never do that. That would never fulfill me. You know, I don't have social media, I don't eat bad food because those things don't fulfill me. I'm looking for a different source of fulfillment. Yeah, like fuck you are. You're looking to get your brain to the state that like a button could get your brain to. What does this mean for the future? Art and psychology and philosophy and science and everything we've done just goes out the fucking window. To wrap this back around to the Goblin mode thing, slomming out and going Goblin mode is just the early stages of this. This extremist behavior brings us back around to the question at the beginning of the video. In a social climate of forced perfection, what does it look like to go against the norm? This is what it looks like. To completely forego every human trait and everything beautiful that got us to this point, and to shut down, to tune out completely, and totally entertained forever. We are a mid-food chain hunter-gatherer primate species with Stone Age emotions that evolved to help us reproduce and feed ourselves. We didn't evolve to be happy. And we're a Stone Age primate with godlike technology. And this is the future we're looking towards. I'm sorry, usually this is the part of the video where I find a silver lining. I try to end my videos on a positive note. But there is no silver lining here. This is what's gonna happen. This is what we're looking forward towards. We're coming to terms with the idea of what objective happiness looks like. And I think objective happiness looks a lot different than what we think it's gonna look like. Rather than a silver lining, I'm gonna leave you with a warning. There's forces beyond your control working on things that you cannot even imagine. And to let that cause you suffering is your only sin. You can't stop progress. You can't stop the future from coming. You either resist or lean into it. That's all you can do. I'm Sea Salt Moses. Thank you for watching. God bless.